Hey, it's H here. Today we're taking a look at technical analysis for Bitcoin. I'll cover wave analysis with the Elliott Waves theory and provide multiple scenarios the price may take and explain why I prefer one count over another. Let's take a look at the different possibilities. Starting here on daily time frame and looking at this whole scenario again from the highs of 69k. Since then we've had a somewhat of a three-way move down into these lows that we had here at the summer June 18th, and then we had fairly large consolidation area before we broke a bit down, and now we could be possibly creating some kind of bottom here. Now what we had here on higher time frame, we had a couple of different possibilities. One of the main ones is that we had this as a 5-way structure here into an A wave. Sure, we had some issues in here, and the third and fourth is very ugly. Fourth is almost overlapping with wave 1 here, and this overall this structure anyway is looking pretty grim. To me it looks a bit better with a 3-way structure like so. The B wave, a 3-wave here, and then this definitely fits a bit better with a 5-wave. However, I don't really know why people are preferring the idea and have been preferring the idea of this being a 3rd wave. On arithmetic scale we can see that we did not even hit the 1-to-1. On log scale we hit the 1.382. So again, those are not bullish targets. 1.618 and onwards are the wave 3 targets. So I'm not quite sure why a lot of people have this as the 3rd wave. And now they would say that this is a wave 4. Of course, when I'm saying this, questioning why this is a wave 1, 2, 3 on other people's counts, I'm not saying that it's impossible. It's just less likely to me that this is a 3rd wave, just due to the extensions here. Okay, so gotta be clear. But my preference here is an ABC or WXY, a 3-way correction, just because again the extension targets hits better. Since then I've seen a few counts where this was a wave 4 already. Neither of this structure or this structure here is an expanding structure, meaning that it could be that if we still want to be labeling this as a 5-way structure coming down, that wave 4 is not even done, and we are going to get something like this and create that expanded structure here before that 5th wave. I feel like that would have to be the better look instead of having this as a wave 1. We had many issues here with even saying that we would have this as a 1-2, a 1-2. Wave 2 here would be so large that it does not really make sense. Also, this structure here is very bullish in itself, so there is definitely like issues with that as well. Just the sheer size of this I feel like is a bit problematic here, but again I'm not saying that is impossible. I'm just saying it is less likely because again this wave 2 possibly took so long. But hopefully that clears up some of the things that and the reasons why I do think that the way I've got these counts are made up. But yeah, let's continue with the analysis that I have. We have still a few different scenarios that we're looking at. One of them is saying that we have this as an A, looking for that B wave and then C wave up. The issue with this one is that if we are labeling this as an A wave here, we would have to label this as the B wave. And this is a bit problematic. Again, this definitely feels like a 5-way move now that we have already broken this down. Again, a lot of people had this as a 5-way structure. I don't know why. Again, bearish targets were hit here. We are hitting the 1-to-1 here and nothing else. I don't know why people had this as a 5 wave. Maybe they are just wizards or something that can read the markets better. But to me, I just don't see that as a very very high probability that this was a 3. So yeah, that's that. So again, B wave can't be a 5-way structure, so that's gone. For this one, again, we would have to shift our A wave here to get this as a 3-way structure to fit this being a 5-wave structure, and that count is this one, in which again we would have this as an A wave, then A, B, and then looking for C wave downwards. This one hit the 1-to-1 here for this possible C wave, and this possible C wave is already complete. We'll look into this smaller time frame structure later on a bit. Other one is that we had this as an A, B, and C, a running flat. into an A wave. Then we would have another connector wave structure coming down as in form of a WXY, because again the wave X did not retrace enough to be a flat, so the expectation is a WXY, and the expectation here is a three-way structure. That is also possible. We'll look into that as well. We have some targets here that has been hit for both of these now, so 1.382 and 1.382 of the retracement of this original A wave as well has been hit. If we go beyond the 14.9k area, then this count is out of the picture. At that point, we might need to be looking at the more bearish ones, where we have, again, as I mentioned, this as a 1, 2, 1, 2. But until that point, I'm still defending my thesis here and trying to get this going here with a possible C wave soon. So we had a couple of different ideas here. One of them is saying that it could be a three-way structure, and one of them is saying that we could have our hands on a five-way structure. So the three-way structure would be labeled something like this, where we would have this as an A, B, and C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into that C. This would be a bit harder to label, but in any case, I do think that there is possibility of labeling these five waves, some kind of diagonal at the start at least, then possible 3, 4, and 5. There's no real overlap with this high here, so you can be labeling that quite a few waves, or quite a few ways. So this would be getting us to wave W here, ABC down here, and then targets lower. Again, we have gone beyond the 1.618, which is definitely something that I don't really like with the WXYs. Generally, when that happens, there could be something else going on, and for those, again, we have the impulse wave count. So yeah, that's just something to keep in mind. Within more local structures, if we are looking into this for 2 minutes, for example, we had this as a possible A wave, B wave, and then C wave, hitting the 1-to-1 exactly here at the bottom. So again, that is giving us potential three-way looks. Of course, we could be saying that we have this as a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and extended fifth. That is possible. But yeah, that is the way you want to be labeling this, I feel like, if we want to have it as a three-way structure. Then X wave would be this one, getting back to almost at 50%, and then we would be looking for a three-way pullback downwards again. Now there's a couple of different ideas here on this local time frame. Either we have this as an ABC, and then another ABC here into wave Y, creating this as the wave Y end of this micro as well, or this would be the start of that wave Y, creating a pullback here of some sorts, or even completed now, and then another low to be made here. Again, we would have quite large one-to-one extension here, around the 1.236x as well for this one-to-one. That would be around 14k, and the other one that is lining up very well is 13.38. So those are the two targets I would be watching if this low breaks here. At the moment, again, this is again the bearish count, so let's check out the bullish one. The impulse one, which is again terminated at these lows, which could be starting the bullish count. So in here, again, multiple ways to label this this first wave into these lows, then that expanded structure here into wave 2, 3, getting to that 1.618, which is making this a bit stronger in that sense compared to the WXY count, and then wave 4, simple structure, again, alteration between wave 2 and wave 4, looks good. Wave 5 is just about reached here, but again, not invalidated by getting into the wave 1 territory, so that is fine. This structure, however, is a bit hard to label within 5 waves. The start of it especially is very overlapping, so I do think that we have to be labeling this as a diagonal, then a wave 2 as a 3-way zigzag here, and then another possible wave 1, 2. If this is a third wave, like we have the extension here as a 1, 2, 3, then we would have already overlap between the first and the fourth here, and that does not make sense. So if we, again, unless we want to of course have this as a some kind of a diagonal here, I can't really get that to work though. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, I guess that could work, but again, it is not very clear. It is very ugly in my opinion, and trying to get file waves clear or clean into this mess is not easy. Even the last structure here, if we would have to be able to, or if we could be labeling this as a wave 4, 1, 2, is this 3, 4? No, that is overlapping again here. Same structure here, overlaps between these lows and highs. This here, I feel like could be labeled as the 5th wave. That is no problem. The problems are with the previous structures. So yeah, that's why I kind of feel like the other, the bearish count fits here a bit better. There's few different ways to label this as a diagonal here. ABC, and then this would be another ABC. I feel like that fits a bit better, but again, the previous structures fits this impulse wave count a bit better. So this is, in my opinion, really hard to trade. Now, what do we have from the lows? That is, again, important. If we are just, again, we are now on very low time frame on 1 minute, looking at the structures from the lows of 15.5k. In this one, again, there's quite a few different interpretations here can be made. The most bullish that I can get here is this one, where we would have this as a 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. The problem with this one is that we are actually trying to create a diagonal which is a contracting pattern. However, wave 1 here would be the largest structure. So that, again, sorry, not the largest structure, but the wave 3 would be the largest structure. This surely fits into the idea of having this as a diagonal. It just doesn't measure like one. However, we can of course just disregard that in that mind and say that it is just what the markets generally do, or sometimes do. They're not perfect, of course, and we just try to put some patterns into it, giving us some kind of probabilities to trade this. But in any case, if we want to be bullish here, we could be labeling this as a 5-wave structure into an A wave or a wave 1. Wave 2, well, wave 2 would have to be here, or we would be labeling it like this as some kind of a running flat structure. And then I'm not quite sure what we have here. Again, or is it like this? I'm not quite sure. This is just, the issue you see here is that we have overlapping structures, which is again more of that corrective patterns that we are seeing more generally. So that is raising the questions a bit. Of course, from the very lows that we are making, it is generally very common to have these kind of structures that are very overlapping, and in time later on they will be either forced into some kind of count that is bullish, or they are turning out more bearish as the probabilities are more bearish. But I think that's where I'm going to be leaving this. Again, I'm still kind of leaning towards more downside here. Again, if this turns into being somehow a manageable 5-way structure, I might be looking into possibly taking a long setup, even possibly even here on the golden pocket, or at these low, well, this order box here basically around the $16,080 area, give or take. And we'll see how that turns out. Maybe plays out a ABC structure here, possibly, or a WXY, or it's just a wave 1, and I just don't see the proper structure here yet. But I think, again, that is all I want to share today. If you made it this far into the video, I would appreciate the likes. Link to my free Discord server in the description below, and for now I thank you for watching and hope you have an amazing rest of your day. See you in the next video. Bye bye.